Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? I know about them.
Ellen,
Now,
were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times. Have you been to his parties?
I don't have any real personal beef with Diddy, but it's got to go down. The bits are there. I'm a gold miner. I just found some gold.
Joe Rogan just made a statement that sparked a discussion. He's also criticizing the quiet surrounding Ellen DeGeneres this time. People keep asking the same question because the Diddy situation is dominating timelines and headlines. How come no one is making the connections that keep coming up? Because many people are pretending not to notice that Ellen's name keeps coming up in this conversation. The people reacted as usual when Diddy faced major federal accusations. It began to dig. People used to giggle at old videos, interviews, and moments. Replaying them via a different lens makes them quite different. Ellen can help with that. Videos showing Ellen and Diddy appearing remarkably at ease on her show, laughing, joking, and leaning into the party talk as if it were harmless, started to surface.
We're back with Sean Diddy Combs. Is it Diddy today? Because sometimes you're Puffy and sometimes you're Diddy. Or sometimes you're Daddy. What are you today?
I'm so confused today with it, as long as you say it in a nice way.
However, those jokes are being rewatched as though they had a deeper meaning due to the way the topic has changed. Hold on till you hear Joe Rogan's actual remarks about it. He believes there's a reason why Ellen isn't being pressured in the same manner as other individuals. Despite the fact that Diddy appeared on her show several times, the party discussion wasn't merely a casual remark. It was captured on camera. It was informal. Viewers are now reinterpreting it as a part of a larger narrative.
Are you going to try to be early?
Yes, I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late, because, you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
When you give it some serious thought, there is a loud quiet that begs one inquiry. Is the timing just off? Or is it the kind of subject that no one wants to discuss? This is when things get even more bizarre. Do you recall when the poisonous workplace situation caused Ellen's show to end? That was more than a brief headline. People's perception of her changed as a result, and she and Portia later relocated to the UK, with Ellen openly attributing this choice to the political environment. However, many viewers did not view it as a change in lifestyle. They handled the timing as if it were a signal. That's how it's being interpreted, fair or not. Is it a coincidence? Perhaps. However, the audience doesn't do this, which is why individuals continue to seek out old receipts and inquire about what actually happened behind the scenes. Here's a brief summary of why Ellen is even relevant in this discussion before delving further into the Rogan angle. When BuzzFeed News published the article about her show, it instantly tamed her reputation for kindness. According to former employees, there was toxic management, racism accusations, intimidation, and a culture where many felt afraid to speak up for fear of repercussions. The contrast was the aspect that the audience found particularly memorable. The narrative sounded like pressure, but the brand was kindness. A number of executive producers were fired as a result of the intense criticism, which Ellen publicly addressed. However, the discussion never truly ended. Was it the entire show's culture, or was it just the producers? Ellen defended herself by saying that the break occurred because she was unaware of everything going on behind the scenes. While some individuals accepted it, others did not. In any case, her reputation suffered.
I've heard this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show, and then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected.
The show went on for a while before Ellen declared that it was no longer difficult. However, many people interpret it in different ways, as if the faith had vanished and never completely returned. Let's now explore what Joe Rogan truly said about Ellen during his podcast discussion on Diddy. Rogan discussed how odd it is that so many celebs publicly made fun of Diddy's parties for years, as if it were a flex.
Just kept people at his houses because he's got multiple houses, and he's just had freak out part. Look at him! Look at his house! He's sat down and goes.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher and other celebrities who used to discuss those gatherings as a badge of honor were highlighted by him. Then he made the obvious argument. Ellen's program was one of the main venues where those party talks were captured on camera. This was essentially Rogan's point. How did all these well-known individuals spend years circling those events, discussing them in public, laughing about them, and claiming to have seen nothing when the current accusations provide a completely different picture? And a lot of that party chatter wasn't subtle, which is why this hit so hard. People keep revisiting a particular scene from that 2018 interview. Ellen is informed by Diddy that he invites her to all of his events, but she never shows up. He continues by saying that although the parties begin early, the actual celebration takes place on the upper floors at midnight. Ellen responds as though she already understands what he's saying. People won't let go of that moment.
What time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel. You know?
And then it will carry on there?
Yeah. Then
Let's examine why this is important and why Rogan finds it odd that Ellen's name is hardly used in the story's mainstream narrative. First, Diddy frequently appeared on Ellen's show, and the party talk was a recurring joke. Subsequently, older videos were also pulled, such as the Conan O'Brien segment from 2002, in which Diddy makes a joke about the need for locks on the doors at his parties. It sounded like shock humor at the time. However, it no longer lands like a joke when people replay it. Whether that's fair or not, it lands like foreshadowing.
if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yes, what did Ellen know, if anything, and why isn't she saying a word, became the question after those clips began to circulate once more. People even brought up that old tweet from 2016 in which Ellen made a joke and called Diddy Cuddle McNuggle Stuff. Then there were times when people asked her questions and she didn't respond. Her body language was interpreted by some spectators as uncomfortable. Some claim that's how anyone who is ambushed would appear. In any case, it added fuel to the conversation.
You may not do that. You're neat, though, right? I would imagine your closet is color coordinated. Everything is hung in a certain,
Yes.
right? So you're neat. It's just that you're not the person that puts it back.
Rogan's argument remains straightforward. People will expect you to address it when the subject gets serious if you were close enough to have him on your show several times, make jokes about the party scene on national TV, and appear as if you understand what that implies.
But there's a camera that swings around and they go, hey, yo, oh, Odell Beckham, and you see Justin Bieber's head come up from his crotch, and he looks in the camera and he's very confused. It's a really disturbing.
And what he perceives as suspicious is Ellen's silence and numerous other names. But wait, there's more to this, which adds to its complexity. Do you recall the controversy at work? A culture where people were afraid to speak up has been reported by some former employees. Many readers draw comparisons between that dynamic, fear, power, and silence, and how they believe other celebrity circles function when someone has influence. That doesn't prove anything illegal about Ellen, but it does help to explain why the debate sticks and why the similarities keep coming up. Stories like the Ellen glare from a former crew member describing how tense the set felt, or allegations that some guests were excluded from the show because of personal disputes are frequently recounted in that same context. Control, pressure, and silence are the same patterns that people debate whether or not every detail is true. The public doesn't only watch the videos, they also reinterpret them if they notice a pattern like that. And this is what people consider to be the most striking contrast, since it demonstrates how impeccable a person's public position might sound just before their individual reputation suffers. Ellen confronted Diddy on her show in 2009 about why Chris Brown was even allowed to use his home, following the public accusation that he had hit Rihanna. Additionally, Ellen seemed to be taking a strong stance against domestic abuse, stating that she didn't want any girl to believe that returning to a man who had hit her was acceptable.
Because I would like you to clear something up. There's
Yes.
a lot of talk going on with Chris Brown being at your place in Miami, and you arranging Chris and Rihanna getting back together.
And it's my house. And I'm allowed to give my house to whoever I want to give my house
Sure.
to. That's number one. Number two is that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody. And so if a friend or friends ask me for a favor, then I'm a...
Later, when accusations about Ellen's own program surfaced, former employees described poisonous behavior and an unpleasant workplace culture. And for that reason, it's referred to as hypocrisy. The difference is difficult to overlook, not because it establishes a crime. In one instant, I'm defending women, and in the next, my own set was purportedly in disarray behind the scenes. Zoom out for a moment now. Additionally, there were rumors that Ellen and Portia sold their Montecito home and relocated to a rural area of England, a decision that was openly linked to the political situation. As Diddy's legal predicament garnered increasing attention, many viewers quickly took advantage of that time and incorporated it into the discourse because they were seeing which famous people remained silent and which did not. At this point, the crowd not only observes, but also creates, which makes the rabbit hole even darker. There were rumors that Ellen had an arrest warrant related to her former DJ, Stephen Twitch Boss, who died in late 2022, and that a tape of some sort had allegedly been played in court. Fact-checkers disprove such assertions. However, it's interesting to note how quickly it spread, because no one was asking, is this true? Does this fit the storyline, was the first question they asked. Additionally, Ellen's name became a magnet for anything that sounded alarming, especially if it could be connected to a larger Hollywood dark tale, since her reputation was already tarnished. And that's the danger in situations like these. Rumors spread more quickly than facts, but since there is genuine mistrust, these stories endure. Ellen even joked about being forced out of the entertainment industry in her Netflix special, For Your Approval, essentially acknowledging that the Be Kind Girl Wasn't Kind headline had become her identity.
Temple, and then look at the... Let me see Ellen's background. What? Oh, similar. That looks like a building, though. Like sure. Yeah. Is that a building in LA? That might...
According to one insider, Diddy is embroiled in a federal investigation, and Ellen knows and resides in England. Others questioned why some names get dragged while others seem to receive a lighter edit, and said that Rogan is the only one expressing what everyone is thinking. Then there were videos of Ellen's body language that show her not responding to inquiries, with many accusing her of seeming guilty. That is not proof, once more. That's perception. However, these comment wars are motivated by perception. Additionally, a recurring issue in the responses is poisonous workplace headlines and an unsatisfactory apologies. The audience interprets a move overseas as a signal, followed by the Diddy talk becoming louder, all of which are combined into a single story. That is the driving force behind the entire narrative. People are searching for a more comprehensive explanation because they believe Ellen never truly paid a price. Recall the initial question, why does it seem like no one wants to discuss Ellen in this conversation? This is the response that many people choose. They believe she has been treated differently. She is still Ellen Degeneres, but not in an official or courtly sense. Relationships, money, connections, power, and the capacity to mold a story long after leaving television. However, this is what's evolving. Individuals such as Joe Rogan don't follow the same societal norms. The quiet portion will be spoken aloud as a question rather than a judgment. Additionally, the audience follows a large platform's decision to treat a topic as legitimate. It's not that Ellen is worse than Diddy. That jump is careless. The question is why. Despite the existence of tapes, quotes, and ugly optics, some names are constantly questioned, while others are treated differently. And for that reason, the Diddy scenario caused a rewind, which is why this keeps coming up.